Chosen one, before these words unfold, hear this with certainty. You did not arrive here by chance or accident. You were guided gently but deliberately. A quiet knowing has always lived within you. You sensed long ago that your struggles carried a different weight, that your resistance was denser, deeper, more demanding. Your inner being was shaped through pathways most could never interpret. You have endured conflicts that appeared senseless to observers on the outside. You passed through seasons meant to shatter you, yet here you remain, upright and breathing. This is because your path has never been ordinary. You move beneath the living mantle of David, a covering so uncommon, so heavy with purpose that even among the called, only a handful are entrusted with it. This mantle has nothing to do with admiration. It does not seek ease. It does not hunger for praise. It exists for command in spiritual terrain, for exact alignment, for triumph where defeat seemed guaranteed. If you have ever felt designed for conflict without craving destruction, if you have ever noticed that atmospheres shift simply because you enter a space, if you have observed resistance rising the instant you advance, remain here. Today, the heavens are affirming what rests upon you, why you were shaped this way, and how to fully move within David's mantle of war. Many recall David and see only a sling in his hand. But heaven perceived far more than a weapon. David's mantle was never rooted in raw strength. It flowed from alignment, precision of timing, and courage sourced beyond the human. David did not mirror Saul. He refused Saul's armor. He rejected Saul's methods. And here lies your confirmation. You were never designed to fight as others do. You have attempted to blend in, to adapt, to rely on systems that produced results for those around you. Yet each time you tried, something felt wrong, dense, confining. Because David's mantle refuses borrowed coverings. It responds only to genuine obedience. This is why your road has often felt solitary. This is why your approach confuses people. This is why layers have been stripped from you again and again. Not as punishment, but as protection. God was safeguarding the mantle. Chosen one, David's war mantle is not mastered through study alone. Life unveils it through pressure, resistance, and confrontations that appear unwinnable. At first, this mantle announces itself quietly, through recurring patterns, through familiar cycles, through conflicts that seem pointless to everyone except heaven. If you carry this mantle, these words do not merely resonate, they mirror your history. David's earliest battles were not fought before crowds. They happened in isolation, against lions and bears, against dangers no one applauded. Chosen one, your early years were marked by unnatural pressure. You were forced to mature quickly. You carried emotional loads unseen by others. Endurance was taught to you before comfort ever arrived. People may have labeled you strong, but they never witnessed the price of that strength. This is one of the clearest signatures of David's war mantle. God introduces his Davids to conflict long before recognition ever comes. So when visible battles emerge, fear does not dominate them. You were trained in obscurity. When David stood before Goliath, he did not retreat. Something inside him came alive. Chosen one, you recognize this sensation. It leaves you restless, but impossibility awakens you. When circumstances seem overwhelming, something rises within and declares, "This is why I exist." You do not chase chaos, yet chaos reveals your clarity. Pressure does not freeze you, it activates you. This is not common. This is David's living mantle responding to resistance. David tested Saul's armor once and immediately cast it aside. You have done the same. You stepped into structures that succeeded for others. You walked paths that looked flawless on paper. You listened to advice offered with good intentions, but each time it demanded the sacrifice of your true nature, your spirit rebelled. You would choose struggle as yourself over success as an imitation. That resistance is sacred. David's mantle cannot function through copying. It breathes only through authenticity. Before honor found David, ridicule found him first. Even those closest to him doubted his heart. Chosen one, this has been your experience. Your motives are misunderstood. Your depth is underestimated. Your certainty is labeled arrogance when it is simply knowing. Your confidence unsettles the insecure, not because you boast, but because you see clearly. and clarity threatens those governed by fear. David's war mantle attracts misunderstanding long before it attracts recognition. When those around you spiral into panic, you become centered, not passive, but sharply focused. You do not deny danger. You evaluate it. David did not scream at Goliath from emotion. He read him through the spirit. You do the same. Your stillness is not ignorance. It is discernment. That calm is heaven's signature upon your spirit. David did not merely wound his enemy. He concluded the conflict. Chosen one, when you decide to move at last, the landscape responds without delay. There may have been extended chapters of waiting, shaping, and quiet readiness. Yet when the moment arrives, what you do carries a sense of closure. You do not circle battles endlessly. You bring them to an end. This is because the mantle resting on you holds authority that completes what it confronts. Goliath carried a name everyone knew. David carried insight that came from heaven. And this pattern lives in you as well. Labels do not sway you. Rank does not mute your voice. The past does not intimidate you. You honor leadership, yet you are never bound by it. You weigh circumstances by truth rather than fear. This is a mark of David's nature. People tend to either trust you with full conviction or stand firmly against you. Rarely is there neutrality. This happens because David's war mantle compels others to face where they truly stand. Those aligned with purpose recognize you instantly. Those unsettled by it push back. You did not manufacture this friction. Your presence revealed it. David held the ability to stand strong in battle and remain gentle in worship. Chosen one, this harmony lives in you. You are not hardened. You are not merciless. Your heart feels intensely. And still, when the moment demands it, you rise without hesitation. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. It is equilibrium. It preserves the purity of your authority. David did not fight merely to survive. He fought to protect covenant. You sense this same truth within yourself. You know your existence is not centered on ease, repetition, or small wins. You carry an inner pull to change outcomes, to close destructive cycles, to guard what holds value. That awareness did not grow from personal drive. It was planted through assignment. David did not instigate Goliath, yet he did not retreat. Chosen one, you do not seek confrontation, but you refuse to avoid the battles that matter. You understand that what is ignored today multiplies tomorrow. So when the time arrives, you step forward. That bravery was never taught. It was placed within you. You do not abandon what you are called to. When God places responsibility in your hands, something deep inside commits to finishing it. David did not leave the field unfinished. Neither do you. This is why your calling can feel weighty. It is not pressure. It is trust. Chosen one, if these patterns have mirrored your journey, receive this clearly. You were never exaggerating. You were never fabricating meaning. You were never excessive. You were carrying David's mantle of war, and heaven has been shaping you for a confrontation that concludes in triumph. In time, you will understand why resistance intensified just before elevation, and why opposition grows louder when David is nearing the crown. Remain alert. A transition is unfolding. David faced Goliath in the open, yet he was pursued in secret. And this reflects your story. Some victories were visible, but many struggles unfolded quietly. In late hours, inner battles, moments of tears unseen by others. Why did it unfold this way? Because this mantle demands inner alignment. God needed to ensure that your character could sustain the authority entrusted to you. This is why attacks came from places you did not expect. This is why betrayal cut so deeply. You were not merely being harmed. You were being shaped for leadership in spiritual warfare. The same anointing that elevated David stirred hostility in Saul. You have witnessed this reality as well. Some stand with you wholeheartedly. Others oppose you fiercely without explanation. This is not random. David's mantle reveals insecurity. Those secure in their assignment honor you. Those unsettled by purpose resist you. And hear this without distortion. God does not lift David's mantle to soothe Saul's fear. He strengthens David to live through it. David never retreated from a giant. He advanced toward it. And you have felt that same magnetic pull within your chest. When others shrink from confrontation, you sense a call toward resolution. When structures are fractured, something in you wants to address them. Not because you crave tension, but because your spirit detects what remains unfinished. You do not flee from giants. You bring them to an end. Chosen one, understand this clearly. David's war mantle is not revealed only in moments of crisis. It is sustained through daily alignment. Giants do not collapse because of one bold act. They fall because of a way of living that keeps heaven near and the spirit alert. If this mantle rests on you, how you live in the quiet spaces between battles matters, just as much as how you stand when conflict arrives. David never rushed into confrontation without first steadying his heart. Chosen one, urgency is one of the enemy's sharpest tools. It pressures you to react before you listen. David's mantle flows from alignment cultivated each day before engaging the world. Even if only for a few moments, pause and whisper, God, bring my thoughts, my emotions, and my movements into harmony with you today. When alignment leads, your steps carry weight. You do not exhaust yourself fighting wars that were never assigned to you. David could fight with intensity because his heart remained tender. Chosen one, tend your inner world daily. Unhealed anger, quiet resentment, and concealed bitterness blur discernment. This mantle demands spiritual clarity. Release offenses swiftly. Forgive even when apology never arrives. Not because others deserve it, but because what you carry requires it. A purified heart keeps your aim true. David never lost sight of who he was, a shepherd chosen by God. In everyday life, you must anchor yourself in the same truth. You are not defined by today's struggle, yesterday's failure, or another person's opinion. You are defined by the anointing God placed on your life. When identity is settled, intimidation loses its grip. Giants shout loudest when they sense uncertainty. David's triumphs did not begin on open ground. They began in quiet fields, tending sheep with faithfulness. Chosen one, daily obedience matters. The way you speak, the way you respond, the way you steward responsibility when no one is watching. These moments sharpen your spiritual instincts. Small obedience builds readiness for great confrontation. David was a warrior, but worship kept his authority clean. Chosen one, do not abandon worship because battle feels constant. Worship realigns your heart when warfare tries to harden it. You do not worship to avoid conflict. You worship to prevail without becoming bitter. A warrior who worships never fights from hatred. David sought God's counsel before battle. Sometimes the answer was advance. Sometimes it was wait. Walking daily in this mantle requires sensitivity to timing. Not every challenge needs immediate engagement. Not every door must be forced. When you rise with wisdom, you bypass unnecessary conflict. When you move with clarity, your momentum becomes unstoppable. David did not overcome Goliath through rage. He overcame him through revelation. Chosen one, this mantle does not respond to emotional impulse. Anger blurs vision. Pride dulls precision. Fear drains strength. Daily discipline means choosing spiritual response over emotional reaction. You do not suppress feelings. You govern them. That self-mastery is a weapon. David remembered the lion and the bear. Before facing the giant, memory itself became part of warfare. When doubt whispers, speak to your soul. If God delivered me then, he will deliver me now. Keep your testimonies alive within you. They fuel confidence when resistance rises. David ignored the noise of the crowd. Chosen one, everyday life will offer distractions masked as urgency, opinions, drama, and comparison. This mantle requires focus. You are not obligated to explain yourself to everyone. You do not need to answer every voice. Guard your attention as you would a weapon. David honored Saul even while Saul opposed him. Chosen one, humility does not mean diminishing yourself. It means remaining teachable, grounded, and submitted to God. Self-doubt weakens authority. True humility strengthens it. Know who you are without needing to prove it. David spent long seasons alone, even after being anointed. Chosen one, solitude is not rejection. It is preparation. God separates those he plans to elevate so their dependence stays anchored in him. Do not resent quiet seasons. They refine your hearing. David trusted God with outcomes. At the close of each day, release what you could not control. Thank God for what he carried you through. Rest without replaying battles in your mind. A rested warrior fights with clarity. Chosen one, Walking daily in David's war mantle is not about striving harder. It is about aligning deeper until your life becomes a place where heaven feels welcome. From that place, victory becomes unavoidable. And as you move forward, remember this: you are not learning how to fight. You are learning how to win without losing yourself. Your next battle will not catch you off guard. You are already prepared. Many are chosen. Few endure what David endured. This mantle demands courage without recognition, faith without reassurance, obedience without applause. That is why God trusted you. You did not quit when misunderstood. You did not harden when betrayed. You did not retreat when attacked. You adjusted, you grew, you endured. That is David's war mantle. Chosen one. Before you move on, before you scroll away, before this moment fades, pause and breathe. This is not merely an ending. It is confirmation. Throughout your life you have sensed it. That quiet awareness deep in your spirit that you were not shaped like everyone else. You tried to explain it away. You tried to minimize it. You tried to silence it so you would not appear proud or different. But heaven never removed it because it was never arrogance. It was calling. You were not weak in your hardest seasons. You were being trained. You were not delayed. You were being refined. Every unseen struggle, every lonely stand, every choice of integrity over approval was heaven forming. David's war mantle within you. That is why you survived what should have destroyed you. That is why you walked free from places where others remained bound. That is why your spirit refused to settle for smallness. God did not shield you from warfare. He entrusted you with it. Hear this without distortion, chosen one. The giants you faced were not proof you were unqualified. They were evidence you were assigned. You were not attacked because you were fragile. You were attacked because you were dangerous to the enemy. And even when courage felt absent, you kept moving forward. That is David's courage. There were moments you wished someone else would fight for you. Moments you hoped a stronger voice would intervene. Moments you questioned why the weight rested on your shoulders. But now clarity is coming. You were the strongest one in the room. Even when you doubted it, heaven recognized what you carried long before you did. Chosen one, this confirmation is not meant to inflate you. It is meant to anchor you. So when resistance rises again, and it will, you do not question who you are. So when the next giant appears, you do not shrink. You remember, I have stood here before. I have survived worse, and God has never failed me. Let this truth settle deeply within you. You walk with David's war mantle. You were shaped for moments that demand courage. You were trained for battles that alter outcomes. You were entrusted with authority because your heart could sustain it. Not everyone can carry this mantle. That is why your road has been narrow. That is why your circle has been small. That is why growth has cost you so much. But know this, none of it was wasted. As you step into what comes next, you do not step forward unready. You step forward aware of who you are, aware of what you carry, aware of the God who has gone before you every single time. And now, when the enemy sees you approaching, he does not see your fear. He sees your history. Chosen one, receive this confirmation not with pride, but with quiet confidence. Lift your posture, not because you are flawless, but because you are positioned. The field is shifting, the season is turning, and the same God who trained David has been shaping you. Walk on. The victory ahead is not uncertain. It is already written. If this message resonated with your spirit and you feel guided, please support this video by liking it. You may also support the channel through the link in the channel's bio. Even a single dollar carries great value for me and for this work. Your generosity allows us to continue spreading light and love. God bless you.